Welcome to the Empowered Team podcast. I am your host, Kari Schneider, and I am so happy to introduce this topic because I get to swear a whole bunch. So, warning, if you're listening to this in the car or in the office and you've got the speaker on and there's children around or whatever, you want a professional environment or a parenting environment, I'm going to say the F-bomb a bunch of times here because we're talking about the fuck it effect. It's actually not really called that, but it's just so much more satisfying to call it the fuck it effect instead of the what the hell effect. The what the hell effect is a real thing. And even just saying it, you probably know right now that moment that you started scrolling and it turned into a doom scroll and suddenly you're watching raccoons wash grapes or something ridiculous. Or you had the one glass of wine and you only wanted one glass of wine and then it turned into 5 glasses of wine. That is the thing I'm talking about, the what the hell effect, which is what the research calls it. The researchers call it. We could call it the fuck it effect today, just so you can feel like you can say that on a Monday morning and start your week that way. So the intention here today is so that you can get back into control when you fall into that, what the hell, screw it, fuck it, it doesn't matter. I did the one donut, I'm going to have 3 more. I had the piece of pizza, I started the scrolling, I started the gambling, whatever it is. Hopefully you're not doing all those at once. Just maybe one fucking at a time. All right, here we go. What is this? This is a real thing. I'm going to show you a book for those of you who see this on video. For those of you who don't, it is called The Willpower Instinct, and it is by Kelly McGonigal, and she goes into all of the research that really breaks down willpower. And this thing, this what the hell effect, is huge. It's where we as humans take one little slip and then we really spiral it into this problem in that we do it over and over and over again until we're in this space of, oh, I just wasted the full day. I've wasted a week. I've taken 45 minutes of my workday scrolling on social media. So what this is, it is a real psychological phenomenon. It's a real deal. It's a thing. It's been labeled, it's been titled, and it's when this small blip instead turns into something that spirals into a real slide. So instead of the slip, instead of the one thing, we turn it into a slide. But what's going on? It's not that the thing was so bad. Like what? You had a donut, you had a second glass of wine. It's not the big deal. It's simply that we turn it into something that's worse. We become consumed with the emotional guilt or the shame that goes with us having 1 or 2 or 3, and then we just say screw it and keep going. So whatever it is, whether it's skipping the gym when you said you'd go, whether it's having another donut when you didn't. I don't know why I'm saying donuts so many times. I didn't even eat donuts, but it's because they used it in the research and I'm about to explain that research. So that's probably why. But you lead to this unraveling of whatever the behavior that you wanted. In other words, you've lost your self-control. But what's happening in your brain is very interesting. Your brain is interpreting this one action as total failure. So the interpretation of what we do with our brain and then what happens emotionally turns it into this spiral of actions that's not what we really want. So what do? What we want to do is how can we spot this and turn it around? How can we flip it over, flip it on its head and turn this spiral and this fuck it effect into something that really works for us? So before we do these 3 things that's really going to help you turn around any sort of spiral, we're going to look at how people even discovered this. How did they come up with a scientific term called the what the hell effect? So here's what happened. They did some research, and what would happen, they used a little Palm Pilot to record these actions. This is right out of the book here. And what they did was when someone was going to go out or someone was going to have some food, they'd record what their intention was, what they were about to do, and what then actually happened. So for instance, they might record, oh, I'm going out, first beer is at 9:04 p.m. And then one shot of vodka, the party is just starting. So whatever happens. Now, clearly, if somebody was just going to have the one beer or the one vodka, no big deal. But then what would happen is that they would continue the drinking, continue the behavior. They might have felt like crap the next day, but instead of just the physical hangover, that's not what was there. They felt guilty. They felt ashamed, and it spiraled the behavior so that then they didn't care as much about what they were doing. So the worse, here's what they found in the research, the worse the person felt about how much they drank the night before, the more they drank that night and the next night. Mind blown. And this is where this came. This led to a real phenomenon of discovering one of the biggest threats to willpower across cultures, across the world. And the researchers were Janet Polivy and Peter Herman. And these researchers really uncovered it's not just drinking, it's dieting, it's people who gamble, it's even sex offenders. It's all sorts of behaviors that we do the same thing with. We make a slip, we feel really bad about it, we decide that that whole thing was a failure, and then the emotional state has us take more actions that we don't want. Go figure. It's kind of crazy. So that's where this term, the what the hell effect, which for today's fun purposes, we're calling it the what the fuck effect, it describes this cycle of indulgence, regret, and greater indulgence. That's their words. That's how they describe it. So it's not just eating the wrong thing or drinking one too many drinks. It's the effect that the feelings have on creating more of that same behavior. And that's what it really comes down to. So we want to be able to spot this what the hell effect, and we want to be able to stop. So spot it and stop it. How can we do that? Because I'm sure it's happened to you. We get sucked into the social media. We get sucked into our emails when we intend to do a project, and instead of just doing the one email that we said we would do, we end up answering a whole bunch of other emails because we're avoiding the project. But we feel like we've failed because we've already missed the start time that we said we'd start working on the project to ourselves, and on we go. Anything sound familiar here? Because I'm sure you've done this. We all have. There's another study. I want to tell you about this other study because I love these studies. This next study, what happened was they rigged a scale. So instead of the scale saying what their actual weight was, they made a scale that increased their weight by 5 to 10 pounds. Like it really bumped up their scale. And what shocked them was the people who were the dieters in the study, they felt guilty. They felt disappointed with themselves. But instead of resolving to lose the weight, you know what they did? They promptly turned to the food to resolve the feelings of guilt and shame. And that's what's going on. So we feel the feeling of, I messed up. I feel guilty. I'm shameful that I didn't do what I said I would do. And then instead of resolving that thing, we want a quick fix of feeling better, and we use the exact thing that we messed up on, the wine, the booze, the gamble, the extra email, the Netflix, the scrolling on social media. We use the very thing that we feel bad about. We use that to have us feel better, to distract us from feeling guilty or shameful. Oh, wow, we're fun humans. Fun stuff. Look at us. So this creates this loss of hope and then relapse, and we're going into this circle. Fun times. Okay. So now that you know what's going on, what do we do? How do we spot it? How do we stop it? That's what we want to do. So the first step, this one's so important. It's spotting the lie, because the lie is there and it might be quiet. It might be subtle, because sometimes we don't even realize why we're taking that next step of the thing we don't even want to do. But it's consistent across the board. And the lie is that I've already failed, that this thing that I just did is the failure. But it's a slip. It's not a whole failure. It's one mistake. It's not a complete, throw everything out. So what we want to do is recognize that lie that we've already failed, but we haven't really failed. We've just made a mistake. And it's how we think about that slip that's the biggest step towards being able to prevent the slippery slope of spiraling. So what we do is we rewind. Did I make any progress? Is there any problem with just one thing? Like, what is it that we slipped on? We want to really make sure that we don't make it mean something that it doesn't. Is this one glass of wine the end of the world? Me doing these emails and delaying my start time to the project, is that going to really impact the project badly? Maybe, maybe not. Let's just get started on the project. So what we can tend to do is catastrophize the one thing that went wrong, when in reality, it's not the end of the world. It's just one thing, and it doesn't equal total failure. What's still true in this moment? One action doesn't erase who we are or who we are becoming. Even though we say we might want to be a person who doesn't drink or a person who gets the project done, it doesn't mean it erases everything. So what we want to do as step 2 is we want to interrupt the shame spiral. Because the problem here is that once we have that guilt of the second glass of wine or not doing the project, whatever the guilt is around, and we feel that shame, that fuels more of the behavior that's the quick indulgence, whatever is the thing that we're using to feel better. Except what we want to do is interrupt that. So here's where this other research, I love, this is why I was saying donut earlier, love the research. Okay, this is where what they did, and a lot of this is around dieters because they can control the amount of food, they can control the environment a lot. So in this one, they had people drink water and eat a donut and have some candy. And they had the water so that when they ate the donut and had the candy, they would feel pretty full and feel like they had maybe more than what they actually had. But people who were told, this is the craziest thing. Some of them were told nothing, and they went in and they said, here's the donut, here's the candy, have what you want. And they were told nothing, but they had to have some water. And others were told, don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. The women who were told, who ate the donut and were told, don't be so hard on yourself, then when they were exposed to subsequent candy, lots of candy, they ate 60% less candy afterward than those who weren't given that same self-compassion cue. Don't be so hard on yourself. What? So a little bit of self-compassion had the people, these women, eat 60% less than those who were not given that self-compassion cue. The researchers, when they did this study, what their hypothesis was is if guilt and shame and spiraling in guilt and shame were causing more of the behavior that they didn't want, then they hypothesized that what if the opposite of that, what if self-compassion or self-support, what if that could flip the action as well? And it did. How wild is that? So the interrupting of the shame spiral can simply be done with our own self-compassion, or just a plain interruption like, nope, I'm not doing that. Or texting a friend, hey, I was about to eat a donut, and I know that it's okay to eat a donut, but I don't think I want to eat two. And they can reply back, it's okay, don't be so hard on yourself. Or you can give yourself that message. But interrupt the shame spiral. Interrupt it with self-compassion. Interrupt it with some honest, easy ways to change the environment. Even just standing up and moving rooms so that you interrupt the pattern of the emotional spiral. Isn't that wild? Okay, so we've got number 1, catch the lie. The lie is that you already failed. You didn't fail. You made one slip. It's not the end of the world. We're just not telling ourselves that. Step 2, interrupt the shame spiral. How? With self-compassion. The research clearly shows that it works. And step 3, make the next best choice fast. So the next best choice in that example of too many wines would be a water. Next one, water. Next best choice, I keep going on Netflix. Change the program, as in turn the TV off or turn it into just a one short episode of blank that's not going to binge watch. But saying that you'll get back on track tomorrow or Monday or in the beginning of next month, it's too far away. Even tomorrow is too far away. You're looking to make a change now. The next best choice now. It might even mean that in the next best choice, if you're binge watching on Netflix, the next best choice is still on Netflix, but it's something shorter that you're not as interested in and you're going to get off. The next best choice when it comes to food, instead of you being able to have the perfect meal, just having an apple for dessert. Whatever the next best choice is, so that you show self-compassion with rapid recovery. It increases your long-term resilience. It allows you to start to action positive steps towards yourself and action the self-compassion that you started to think or say to yourself. So this could be, what action can I take in the next 5 minutes that aligns with who I want to be in the future, that aligns with my values? What would the future me want in this situation? What would the future me be doing for me right now, right in this moment? So here are the 3. I'm going to go over them again. 1, catch the lie. 2, interrupt the shame spiral fast as you can. You're not bad. This isn't wrong. You're just stepping to the next step. Next best choice is number 3. Make sure that you make the next best choice now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not on Monday, not this evening. Now. What's the next best choice now? What can you do? The only moment that matters is the next one. That's the moment. That's the moment where you have full choice over. So, there's a quote that I wrote down. I'm going to find it here for you. The quote that I wrote down is, the difference between people who succeed long-term and those who don't is not how often they fail, it's how fast they recover. The difference between people who succeed and those who don't is not how often they fail, it's how fast they recover. So in those moments where you literally want to say, fuck it, say it. Say it out loud. And then recover. Recover. You've got this. I believe in you. That little bit of self-compassion, hear it from me. You can make mistakes. It's okay. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're amazing. Just because you had an extra whatever doesn't mean you're not. What's the next best choice? What can we do right now? Let's take a walk around the house. Let's go around the block. Let's just break the spiral. Any of those things are acting in self-compassion towards yourself. You can do it. You can do it. All right. Share this with someone who you know has had a little bit of a bucket effect and you want to support. And by all means, practice that self-compassion. That's what it's going to mean to keep empowering yourself day by day. It's you that creates your own personal power. So keep showing up. Have an incredible day. Go crush your week. We've got you.